between the role of works in justification, if any, and the role of works in future justification. Can you tell us what you think about future justification?
Yeah. Definitive justification that occurs in the course of a sinner's life, is not in accordance with works. It is the ground of justification is the obedience of Jesus Christ, his perfect sinless life, and his death on the cross, which is imputed to the sinner through the instrumentality of faith. So it's God's grace extended to the sinner, and the sinner receives it by the instrument of faith, and even that instrument, faith, is given to him, lest any man should boast. So when a guy gets converted on Wednesday, that justification, that forensic justification, the imputation of the righteousness of Christ, is given to him, imputed to him, completely independent of any works that he has done. The only thing that he contributes is the faith, and faith alone, and even that faith was a gift, lest he be tempted to brag about that. So that's the role that works has in justification in that way, which is to say, none, zilch, no, it has nothing whatever to do with justification. Now, the word justification can also be rendered as a vindication. So when the last day comes and the sons of God are manifested for who they are, when it's revealed to the watching world who the sons of God really are, that is a final vindication. And one word that you could use for that is justification. And part of the glory of it will be that their works will be there, with them in the last day. Works are appealed to, even by God. You visited me in prison. You took care of the sick. Lord, when did we do any of these things? So the works are apparent and invoked at the last day in the sense of vindication of the reality of this person's profession, the reality of this person's faith in Christ. But it would be best to say that faith justifies you. Your works justify your faith, and your works justify your faith at the end of history, manifesting that it was in fact true faith. So it's declarative, it's evidentiary, it's not. God does not, even at the last day, say, "Oh, look at that good work you did. I think I'll let you into heaven." There's none of that ever.
Is there any room for cooperation with grace through our works?
Yes and no, depending on what you mean. So if I cooperate with grace, this is the thing that I have to say as sort of a high-octane black coffee Calvinist. Yes, we are supposed to cooperate with grace, but we have to do this understanding that if I cooperate with grace, that cooperation is itself a grace. Not every good and perfect gift comes down from God. So when I am considering my sanctification, if I want to grow in the Lord, if I want to avail myself of the means of grace, if I want to listen to sermons, if I want to come to the sacrament of the Lord's table, if I'm preparing, I'm doing all these things to cooperate with God's grace that's offered in the Word and the sacrament. So yeah, in that sense, we cooperate with grace. But it is not the case that we contribute anything to our salvation autonomously. So we are saved by grace, we are sustained by grace, we finish by grace. It's sola gratia. One of the great themes of the Reformation is sola gratia, by grace alone, sola fide, through faith alone. So how is it that I cooperate with grace? By trusting God, by believing God. And even that trust, even that faith is a gift of God, lest any should boast. God doesn't want braggarts with regard to justification, and he doesn't want braggarts with regard to sanctification. Ever, period. So if I could just sort of bring this back around to a conclusion, those who say that I teach that we begin by God's grace and then it's up to us to keep ourselves, to keep it maintained or to cooperate with God's grace, and if we drop our end, then it's all over. Those who say that I teach that are either ignorant or malicious in what they're attributing to me. I deny it hotly. Some people have heard that I teach that, but I don't. Some people persist in saying that I teach that despite knowing good and well that I don't. So by grace, through faith, from beginning to end, plus nothing. That's what the Bible teaches. That's what I hold.